Man, look, I may not be a fan of Drake's music though, but ever since this whole Kendrick Lamar and the Drake beef, so many diss tracks has been thrown out against one another, and now all of a sudden we're dealing with a shooting outside of his house. First we got Diddy's home being raided, and now we got Drake's house being shot out in Toronto. I mean, of course y'all know Drake is Canadian as well, but damn, bro, this year is just off the charts. Link to the original video will be down below. Let's just go ahead and see what it's all about.
Shooting has occurred outside the home of Canadian rapper Drake. The incident occurring in the wake of Drake's ongoing beef with fellow rapper Kendrick Lamar. CP24's Courtney Heels is on the scene with more. Courtney, we see the police tape behind you. What more can you tell us?
Good morning, Marcy. I can tell you there is a pretty heavy police presence along this road. This is Park Lane Circle. It's the street that Drake lives on. This is as close to the scene as we can get. You can see they have a Toronto police van here, a couple of officers blocking the road, also yellow police tape here too. Now, Chopper 24, that's our newsroom helicopter, was able to get over Drake's home earlier. And in that video, we saw some yellow police tape in the courtyard of his home. Also some people going in and out of the house. And as you reported, that CP24 reporting there is a source confirming there was a shooting outside of his home. We do not know if Drake was home at the time, and this is all happening in the wake of this ongoing feud with another artist, Kendrick Lamar. We don't know if there's a connection here just yet. We are in touch with Toronto Police to see if they can share any more on this investigation. They are staying pretty tight-lipped, but what I can also tell you, police are shooting in this general area where we are. This is the Bridle Path neighborhood. Police say they were called to the Lawrence and Bayview area at about 2 in the morning. That's really close to where we are. At that time, that was a shooting investigation, and police and paramedics told us a man, an adult, was rushed to hospital with serious injuries, and they were still looking for a suspect seen leaving the area. Now, we've reached out to police to see, okay, is that shooting that was clearly very close to that connected to this one? They're just not saying just yet. We expect an update on this pretty soon, especially given the attention this is getting this morning right now. But the latest on this breaking news, a shooting outside of Drake's home happened sometime overnight. We don't have any further details. We don't know if the artist was there, but this is a pretty significant police presence in this neighborhood. Marcia, as I say, this is as close as we can get. I was actually on the other side of the road here, and again, entirely blocked off by cruisers, and we can not really see from this vantage point, but our chopper overhead was able to show us police in the courtyard of the home, and there's some yellow police tape up there too.
Okay, you've hit a couple of key points that I wanted to follow up on. So we don't know exactly what time the shooting occurred, Courtney?
No, and we're kind of going off of the other update from Toronto Police with that suggestion that they did investigate a shooting overnight at about 2 in the morning in the Bayview and Lawrence area. And again, they're not saying, okay, that's close enough to hear this is the same shooting, just not yet. They're staying pretty quiet on this one, so we're just waiting to get more information. But we do know this happened at the very least overnight, because first thing this morning, this is what neighbors in this residential area, I guess you could say, this is a very affluent neighborhood that we're in. They woke up to this heavy police presence, and obviously a lot of questions about what happened too.
Yeah, and to that, and I know you've just arrived on the scene, and for our viewers across the country, you kind of touched on it there too. This is an affluent neighborhood, but it's pretty open. Yeah. Everybody knew where Drake lived. Yeah. There is a lot of space between the houses. The homes are mansions. Have you had a chance to speak to anyone? Are people able to leave the neighborhood and drive out? Are things blocked off? Set more of the scene for us there, please. Again, for the benefit of our viewers across the country who aren't familiar with this area, we know in Toronto is the Bridle Path.
Yeah, so anybody who lives in the Toronto area likely is pretty familiar with this neighborhood, Bridle Path, big mansions. It's a gorgeous neighborhood, a lot of space between these homes too. In terms of the actual location where Drake lives as well, it is well known. A lot of people know he lives on this street right behind me here. As for talking to neighbors, I haven't just yet. Keep in mind, it's not as simple as kind of knocking on doors. I mean, I literally have to go up giant driveways, and I will do that. We just arrived here because this is a story that really broke only 45 minutes or so ago. So we wanted to get here, of course, first to give you this perspective. There are some homes.
I'm gonna go ahead and leave this here. I think personally, this has a lot to do with the beef between Kendrick and Drake, because y'all know this whole diss tracks has been nothing but crazy for the past couple of like days now, and we're just finding this out. And we're just finding this out right now. So I personally believe that all of this has a lot to do with the beef between those two. And I believe Drake's security guard has something to do of Kendra's team shooting at one another, fighting one another. I'm surprised that when nobody dead. So it's crazy to me that all of this information just came out today. So everybody is still quiet. They're still looking for suspects. You know, whether it has something to do with the ongoing beef between Drake and Kendrick, or it could be something different, that somebody wants to simply show up in Drake's house in Toronto to shoot up the place. Who knows? But all I know for sure is that if it is in fact indeed has everything to do with the ongoing beef between those two, then I'm sure there's going to be some more information about this story that'll come out in the future. But until then, I don't know if it was confirmed that he was at the house at the time, or if he's not at the house at the time. We'll probably get more information about this going forward. So link to the original video will be down below.